On the news tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurates Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited Board of Directors. Intensive surveillance and patrol begins at Abuja-Kaduna train station. Plus, Nigerians urged to always support armed forces to tackle insecurity. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news tonight, reaching you from the studio of NTA Ijebu ode. My name is Joel Ukwola. Now the news in details. The newly appointed Board of Directors of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited has been inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari with a charge on members to be mindful of the nation's commitment to near carbon zero aspirations by year 2060. The President who performed the ceremony wants the company to comply with global energy transition reality. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The Board of Directors of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited was in furtherance of the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act, which seeks to make the nation's energy industry commercially viable and competitive in line with global business dynamics and best practices. But beyond the simple fulfillment of the legal and regulatory requirements, President Muhammadu Buhari said the NNPC Limited should also focus on profitability and continuous value creation, as well as protecting national oil and gas assets and interests.
The inauguration of this board is a major step in the ongoing transition to a more viable petroleum and energy industry that will attract investment to support our economic growth and generate employment to millions of our people. NNPC Limited is expected to strictly adhere to corporate governance principles that place premium on doing business with the highest ethical standards, integrity, and transparency.
While appreciating the National Assembly for seamlessly supporting efforts at achieving a viable and accountable energy industry, the President insists on full alignment and synergy between the NNPC Limited, the Upstream Regulatory Commission, as well as the Midstream and Downstream Regulatory Authority towards delivering the reforms envisaged for the petroleum sector.
NNPC Limited is expected to operate at par with its industry peers elsewhere in the world, while acting as an enabler company that will foster the development of other sectors of our economy. I will count on the professional insights and ethical conduct of the board members to ensure the delivery of our promises to Nigerians.
This is history in making, because this is the first time any president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be inaugurating an independent board of an independent NNPC Limited.
Senator Marjorie Chuba Okadibo, who chairs the NNPC Limited Board, on behalf of the members, appreciated the President for the confidence reposed in them and promised to live above board in the discharge of their responsibilities.
This new NNPC is like a new child, and we intend to grow it. We intend to mature it. Indeed, it is a Herculean task. But if you look around, you can see I'm flanked by able men and women, and we will deliver.
I want to assure you that the process of implementing the PIA is fully on course. Mr. President also appointed the other members of the Upstream Regulatory Commission and the Midstream and Downstream Commissions. They too will come on board very soon, and then of course this segment of the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act would have been completed.
The inauguration of the NNPC Limited Board is yet another important step in Nigeria's quest to building a better petroleum industry. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Guests on NTA's flagship current affairs program, Good Morning Nigeria, have been reacting to the latest exclusive interview of President Muhammadu Buhari with Cyril Stober held on Thursday on Africa's largest television network, the NTA. The guests, while discussing issues on the president's interview, say it has inspired confidence in Nigerians. Olusheye Adeagbo reports.
We try to occupy offices with integrity.
One of the rare occasions of a sit-down with President Muhammadu Buhari, it was a tell-it-all affair with Sowore Stoba, where he spoke on several burning issues in the country, including security, politics, infrastructural development, economy, among others. For Femi Adesina, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, the interview raises optimism with a reaffirmation by the present administration to deliver on all its promises on the Nigerian projects.
If you look at the past 4-6 weeks, you know that there is a difference and things are poised to get better.
Based on reactions emanating from security situation, security risk management experts are hoping that a metrics to measure performance be put in place, while better coordination among Nigeria's 3 tiers of government will fully drive implementation of policies.
So clearly there has been improvement, but unfortunately, and that worried me, that improvement is not being communicated to Nigerians. Rather, the narrative is the opposite.
The federal government is pulling its weight, it's doing its bit, is acquiring assets. These assets are going to be deployed at community levels. So if the communities are not receptive and not supportive,
it is actually possible to develop a peculiar accounting or auditing system that will address us.
The guest has told President Muhammadu Buhari's vision, saying for Nigeria to thrive, citizens must see it as a point of duty to support the government. In Abuja, Olusheye Adeagbo, NTA News.
Intensive surveillance and 24 hours patrol have been deployed at the Abuja train station. Oyinaya Kalu Oka report that 6 patrol vehicles and 5 digital scanners were received by the NRC.
Sylvester is a regular passenger with the Abuja-Kaduna train. It has been a pleasant ride for him. But the attack on the train on the 20th of October 2021, he says, changed his perception about safety on the train. When will security be beefed up? What is federal government doing to prevent reoccurrence? Are rhetorical questions from him always. Although these questions are rhetorics, the answers have been provided with these patrol vehicles and scanners by the federal government.
To improve the security apparatus for the patrolling of that route. We have locations where stations are and where we need the police, the security men to be able to move from one location to the other.
And the scanners will provide additional security so that passengers boarding is not just a route.
Besides these patrol vehicles and scanners, digital security system is to be installed to monitor the impact of any activity on the rail track.
to get some machines to put at various stations, 2 or 3 machines, so easy access, so that if there's any reports, they can easily move about.
For Sylvester and other passengers, this initiative shows the seriousness of the government in tackling insecurity in the country.
I will be confident knowing that, okay, there are technologies.
To give us more confidence that the government is truly about securing lives and property.
The patrol vehicles and scanners are expected to be deployed at the Lagos Ibadan and Itakwewari stations. Oyinaya Kaluoka, NTA News.
Still watching the news at 7 on NTA Ijebu ode. A break beckons, the news continues after this message.
Atiba University, AU, in God we trust. Atiba University, knowledge, our light to the world. Knowledge we seek, knowledge we give. Knowledge our creed, knowledge our key to change our world, make it a better place. God has strength, knowledge our key. Atiba University, AU, in God we trust. Atiba University, knowledge, our light to the world. We learn to live, we learn to lead, we learn to excel and be self-sufficient.
You're welcome back. Nigerians have been enjoined to always support the armed forces to win the war against insurgency and all other forms of insecurity in the country. This was during the Jumat service to mark the 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day in Abuja. Elizabeth Omori reports.
Senate, Ministers of Defense and Information and Culture were amongst other worshippers that attended the Jumat prayer.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them all the strength, all the wisdom, all what they need to continue doing the good thing they are doing for the protection of this country. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive them those who died, those whom were injured, oh Allah, give them quick recovery. Those who are in service, oh Allah, strengthen them. Oh Allah, we call on you to protect our president. Increase in his health.
Muslim faithfuls have been urged to turn a new leaf in the new year by refraining from all acts that Allah abhors to be guaranteed of God's divine blessings and protection in year 2022. This was the thrust of the khutbah delivered by the missioner and Saudi Society of Nigeria Ijebu ode branch, Alhaji Kehinde Mustafa Oredipe, at today's Jumat service. The report.
Although Hijra is the Islamic calendar, notwithstanding the Missioner and Saudi Society of Nigeria Ijebu ode branch, Alhaji Kehinde Mustafa Oredipe reminded the faithfuls that God owns all seasons and anyone who witness a new season should show gratitude to Almighty Allah. Alhaji Oredipe buttressed his point with Quran chapter 24 verse 44, adding that every season and what will happen is determined by Allah. The missioner noted that the new year is a testimony to the fact that days are counting and humans are edging closer to their climax. The Imam reminded the faithfuls that the most important decision for the new year is to become a better person in year 2022. The Imam asked the faithfuls very apt questions on their deeds, especially if they added value or impacted the lives of others positively. The cleric explained that if this answer is not positive, faithfuls should change this narrative in the new year. Positive changes required according to him includes remembering the needy, showing gratitude to Allah, refraining from pulling down syndrome, shunning evil associations among others. For the faithfuls, the khutbah is thought-provoking.
That we should forget all, we should try and make a change, a new year resolution. And according to some Quran verses and hadiths cited during the khutbah, that these are the things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam admonish us and advise us that once we keep up with all these things, we are going to have a very comfortable life. We should live with contentment.
Okay, I gained a lot actually. So the Imam said that in this 2022 is going to bring two things, which is good ones and the bad ones. So he prayed for us. He said all of the good things that he prayed that it should be for us.
Actually, today's khutbah actually centers on the fear of Allah and the attributes of the fear of Allah. What you need to consider if you are actually saying you fear Allah. So it tells you how to be in accordance with Almighty Allah and with the principles of celebrating, and what you need to inculcate in your habits celebrating the new year, and what are the things you need to change in your behavior.
The Imam earlier led the faithfuls in prayers and supplications to Almighty Allah. In Ijebu ode, Joel Okuola, NTA News.
To end the news, there is a recap of our major stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited Board of Directors. Intensive surveillance and patrol has commenced at the Abuja-Kaduna train station. And lastly tonight, we inform you that Nigerians have been urged to always support the armed forces to tackle insecurity in the country. That does it on the news tonight. The news continues in Yoruba language immediately after the break with Segun Adekoya. Thanks for staying with us.